Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome to the Head First Podcast. I'm your host Colby with my host
Jane. Hey.
And we are recording this in a car.
We've had a day.
We've had a day.
So, and it's only been like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
It's been a full day in 15 minutes. So basically, we used to record it at Jane's house. Mm-hmm. Jane has now moved and basically...
That's not an option anymore.
Yeah, her office is just not... It doesn't work anymore.
There's no door.
So we went to this public library that you can rent a study room from, hoping that we could record it there.
They're
Turns
not
out,
soundproofed. Surprisingly,
they're not soundproofed.
Surprisingly.
And they're basically, there's a gap in the door, so if we talked, everybody would just kind of hear.
I feel really bad, though, because it kind of kicked this guy out of the study room that we'd reserved, but then we left less than 30 seconds
later. A minute later, yeah. And, I mean, we requested the room, I don't know what he was doing in there. Okay, point is...
In the dark, too.
He was sitting in the dark. It was weird. Okay, we're recording in a car. I don't know where we're going to record this from now on. It might be in a car.
I mean, that's probably the quietest we're going to get.
We'll find out. So anyways, Jane...
I've been up since 5 this morning. And I took a math test at 6:30 this morning, so I'm doing great.
Okay, I guess you predicted I was going to ask how you are.
I did. How are you, Colby?
I'm doing terrible. So, if you don't know, I had the Note 7, that phone that has been exploding if you charge it, and I replaced it once. They continued to explode, so I replaced it again today. I got an S7 Edge. This S7 Edge has dead pixels at the top of the screen, meaning part of the screen is just black, so I have to replace it again later.
It's like a water drop, if that.
Okay, point is I have to replace my phone for like a 4th time in the past 2 months, so we're both doing pretty great.
Well, just get the LG Optimus G from 2012 like I do, and even if your phone case falls apart and you lose a piece, it doesn't matter because it still shuts down every time you try and open an app.
That was Jane ranting about her shitty phone. Anyways!
At least it doesn't catch on fire.
We're gonna jump in the first topic. Jane, you want to introduce it?
Okay, sure. Y'all have probably heard that Kim Kardashian...
Oh, is that the first topic? Okay. Alright.
I
thought we were doing it in a different order. Okay, continue.
We never specified an order. Kim Kardashian was staying... It was a hotel room, right?
Hotel in Paris.
Yeah, so she was staying in a hotel in Paris in this nice penthouse. She was attacked. She was mugged, basically robbed.
$10 million worth of jewelry.
Yeah. She was zip-tied and thrown in her bathtub. And she has been... It's really caused an impact on her, and I can't say that's surprising. I mean,
it would cause an impact on anybody.
But the thing is, a lot of people hate the Kardashians. And I mean, I guess that, like... I don't know.
I'm not particularly fond of them myself.
Yeah, no, I've never watched a show or anything. They don't really do anything special.
It's stupid, and I love it, but I don't like them.
Well, they don't really do anything special. It's just, I mean, people don't like celebrities, but they have turned her almost, like, they make fun of her for it, basically.
Make fun of her, they blame her for it. There's all sorts. Did you hear about, there was a Halloween costume that got pulled it was making fun of her. And it said like Paris robber. It was like Paris robbery.
Attack or something.
It was called, and it was a girl with, it obviously didn't say Kim because of legal reasons, but it was a girl with a long black hair with zip ties.
And like a bathrobe.
Yeah. So basically everyone has been either making fun of her or saying it's been her fault. And it's gotten to the point where she's said it's her fault, too.
Yeah, she truly believes it. She says that it's her fault because her fortune is always in people's faces and that, like, she's gonna from now on change that. And also, she stated that when the events were, like, happening, she was worried that she was going to be raped. And people made fun of her for that. Which, that is, like... such a horrible thing to do because rape is like a lot of women's biggest fears. Mm-hmm. And when you're in like a life or death situation like that, of course you're going to jump to your biggest fears, especially when you're being zip tied and thrown in your bathtub by like men.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
And then people are making fun of her for a totally natural reaction. And I think it's horrible and people need to calm down and realize that these are other human beings.
Wow, you just took that and went with it. Wow. Yeah, so basically it's just become obvious. There's this obvious hate of the Kardashians that's reasonable to a point, but not in this way. People, just because they hate her, are attacking her and saying it's her fault. And I wouldn't wish this on, like, my worst enemies.
No.
You know, it's a terrible, terrible, obviously incredibly traumatic thing that's happened. And, yeah, people are blaming, and I think that probably part of the reason she blames herself at this point is just because of how many people have been blaming her for it.
Yeah, and I mean, she's probably not going to feel safe in a hotel for years, ever again. Because
now, I work at Target, and then when we have nothing to do, we're supposed to stand out in front of the aisle, and there's all the magazines right there. Mm-hmm. So I read the headlines. The entire front page of Star is... it's a hoax. She asked her bodyguard to leave. Like, it's all this thing, and it's just ridiculous. Like, let this girl live. Let her recover. Let her be with her family. Just let her take some time and heal.
People are so vicious.
People are incredibly... Honestly, I try not to curse on this, but people are just horrible, man. They're just horrible, and it's really just awful. I don't really have anything other to say than it's awful. This girl had something traumatic happen to her, and people are making fun of her for it.
Like, imagine if that happened to you, really.
I can't imagine that. And she must have been going through so much fear. Kanye stopped his show, like, a few minutes in to leave to go to her. People were just making fun of her for it.
Well...
Anyways!
Now we're going to go into a lighter topic,
Much lighter topic. We'll start with Bruno Mars' new song. Came out, 24K Magic. We're finally on the right week where it actually came out where we could talk about it. Every other big release, we've been like 2 weeks late. Like, alright, almost a month later.
Britney Spears,
Frank Ocean, everything. But anyways, 24K Magic came out. It is his lead single off his new album. And Jane just listened to it the first time. I'll let you go. Jane, what did you think of it?
Okay. I mean, I thought I didn't particularly love it. I didn't hate it. It was just I don't know. It was a pop song. It was, like you said, similar to Uptown Funk. It had a similar beat and bass line. I mean, I don't know. It's the same artist. I mean, I don't know.
My thoughts on it were, go with your same success, boo. Like, yeah. He's not my favorite person.
To it, but like, I don't know.
Yeah,
he's not
my favorite person. He's not my least favorite, but it's basically I wouldn't say a carbon copy, but it's definitely heavily influenced by Uptown Funk, which is obviously, I think, his most successful song, right?
I'd say so.
I think so. And it's basically almost a copy of that. It has that same modern pop elements mixed with, like, funk. It does basically all of that. And, I don't know, there was nothing special about it. It had, like...
I couldn't remember any of the lyrics if you asked me. But...
No, like, it didn't really do anything for me. But yeah, there was nothing memorable that really spoke out to me. It's doing really well already. It already has, like, 30 million views. It's doing good. He's one of those artists, in my opinion. What do you think about this? He's one of my artists I feel is really overblown. Kind of.
I suppose, yeah.
She's looking at Bruno Mars stats on Spotify.
Oh yeah, Uptown Funk is by far the most popular out of all of those.
Okay, and what's your opinion? Do you think he's a little bit overblown or no?
I don't know. I think he's a good performer. I saw him at the Super Bowl, and I know my mom loves him.
Oh, my mom.
And I feel that's
moms love him.
He's like a mom person.
I think it's kind of interesting because the music industry is so heavily dominated by females, which is a good thing. Feminism. And I think when a male comes in, and maybe this is not true, maybe this is true, this is just kind of what I've seen with him and Justin Timberlake. When a male comes in and can do what women can do in the music industry, I think they get a way bigger spotlight on them. Do you agree with that?
I suppose, yeah, I guess.
Because it's kind of the opposite of the world in the sense that
the opposite of the world.
Music industry is so heavily run by females rather than men.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
And I feel like all those big male artists...
It depends on the genre, though. I think you're thinking more of the pop.
Pop. Oh, yeah, obviously, 100% pop is what I mean. Is that, like, when those big artists, like, you don't hear many male pop artists, and when, like, the Bruno Marses and the Justin Timberlakes come in, whether or not they sound the same as a lot of what's going on, they just blow up immensely. And he he blew up really quick. His first album was in 2012, and he's already done the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Or 2011. 2011 or 2012, and he's already done the Super Bowl. And I feel like when males can come in and do what kind of the women can do in the pop atmosphere, I feel like they just kind of get a way bigger spotlight on them.
Okay. So there's another male artist who also has, like, I think what it is if male artists can have a high range, if they can sing high, if they can hold notes for a long time, you know, that sort of thing, that's what gets them, like,
if they're talented.
Yeah, that's what's seen as, like, talent, I guess, yeah. But, and so, I don't know if you've heard of this artist, Borns. He sings Electric Love, which is his most popular song. I don't know. I love him, but it's I don't know, unhealthy. But, he's another of the, I would say, falls into the same category. His first album was, just about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he already has 2,166,529 monthly listeners on Spotify.
And I think when you're a woman, you have to keep making music. You have to keep making nonstop and just climb the ranks. And I don't think that necessarily happens to men as much. I don't know.
I'm not super into the politics or anything of pop music. I just listen to music, and that's about the extent of it. Okay, so that notification was a message from the library that our reservation was coming to an end for the study room. That
we're sitting in our car.
In the library parking lot.
Anyways! So, ending thoughts that completely divulge from what we were talking about. It's a pretty good song. Sounds like Uptown Funk. I think men get a pass in the music industry that women don't get. Next topic, Jane?
What is our next?
Okay. Nope, it's fine. It's fine.
Lady?
Yeah. The Fifth Harmony lady? I'll do it. So
I listened to one song by Fifth Harmony. Don't talk to me.
So Camila, I think. Camila.
I only know that from Spotify ads.
So Camila is, I wouldn't call her the lead singer of Fifth Harmony, but she's the one that everybody likes.
Is she like the equivalent of Beyonce?
Oh, don't you even compare the... No, I know what you're asking. I know what you're asking, but don't ever put those two's names in the same sentence. No, because they all sing.
Okay.
But she's like the favorite of the fans. Everyone really loves her. Is kind of
like hairstyles in One Direction?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Basically, the thought is that she is becoming a pop star of her own right, and that she is going to, I hate that I'm using this term, but pull a Beyonce in the sense that she splits apart from the group and got a Zayn, and becomes massively successful. This is on the heels of, she had a song with Shawn Mendes, I Know What You Did Last Summer. She recorded her own song, and she has a new song out with Machine Gun Kelly called Bad Things.
Yeah, Bad Things.
I think, so it's called Bad Things. And she actually just got her own official Spotify solo page.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, so I Know What You Did Last Summer has almost 200 million listens on Spotify.
Jane just happens to have the Spotify app open and is searching everything for receipts.
I'm really upset that my premium expired.
I'm
2 days
sorry.
ago. I've been suffering in my graphic design class. It's
I'm
so
sorry.
boring, and music is the only thing that gets me through it.
Music is life.
Buy me premium. Thank you.
Okay. But anyways, it's thought that she's gonna leave the group and kind of start a solo career. Whether or not they'll continue is unseen. I honestly don't know how they will. As much as it seems that the other members hate her from just their body language and talking in interviews, it really seems like they hate her. The fans love her, and I feel like a lot of the fans might abandon Fifth Harmony if she leaves. I think she's a talentless shrew. Jane, do you know anything about her?
Well, we listened to Bad Things on the way over to the library today. And, I did not like the song.
Basically, what it is every collaboration of, like, a rapper and a female pop singer, except not as good.
Yeah, her voice was a little over auto-tuned. There was too much echo. Like, there was so much echo it was noticeable. And stuff like that is supposed to be subtle. That just, it, like, quietly adds to the overall feel of the song. Not
this one.
Yeah, no. No, and every time she says bad things, like...
I'm gonna do bad things to you. Is basically what it sounds like.
It's, like, super weirdly breathy.
It sounds like she's trying to change into, like, 5 different keys at the same time.
Yeah, and there's a key change or something. Like, I can't put my finger on it, but it just
Something not good.
It
was not good.
wrong.
It's not a good song.
It sounds wrong.
I honestly think she's really untalented. If you listen to live performances, there's really only 2/5 of Fifth Harmony can actually sing. And, Camila is not one of the 2/5 that can sing. And it's...
Who are the 2/5? I don't know their
I don't know their names. Normani can kind of hold a note. Dina, she can kind of do it.
I like Boss.
I mean, they make fine...
You like Boss.
They make fine music, but they're not... They're not that talented if you listen to them live. If there's any harmonizers in here, sorry, this is probably just going to be a segment bashing Camila and Fifth Harmony. But,
I don't hate Fifth Harmony. I don't listen to anything other than Boss, though. Like, I don't know. So I can't really say much about it.
They're not good live.
Colby
and
has strong opinions on this, though.
Yeah. I really think that if Camila goes solo... I feel like she probably will have some good success. I feel like the fan base is going to more follow her. As for the rest of the group, I don't even know if they'll stay together after that. But I don't know if they'll really have as much success as they've been having a lot of good success.
Oh, that was like a motorcycle or some... Oh.
Jane!
Colby, I
have to cut out so much of this episode.
I woke up at 5:30. 5 o'clock.
You've said that 12 times, Jane.
I don't care, I'm exhausted!
Hey, no! Okay. I think she's gonna find a lot of success, though. It's not a matter of if she's gonna leave the band at this point, it's a matter of when. She made her own song. I mean, it's been happening for a while, the thought that it might happen. I doubt we'll see another album from them. Even the fact that 727 is a major flop, I don't think it has any certifications, like, for worldwide sales.
Wait, what? 727?
That's their album.
Oh.
You don't know anything, do you?
No.
Okay. But anyways, final thoughts. I think she's definitely gonna be on her own soon, and I think she'll have some success. Same can't be said for the rest of the group. Jane, I know you barely talked at all, but do you have any thoughts?
Are that I don't know anything. I have like 3% of an opinion on this.
What's that 3%?
That the song was bad.
Okay, Jane's final thoughts. The song was bad. Thanks, Jane.
You can tell that I'm a writer, right?
Alright, so we're doing, I know it's kind of early, but we're doing our final ending narrative thing that we always do.
And honestly, we didn't even know if a podcast was going to happen this week.
Yeah, this podcast was really thrown together and like a lot of planning that just fell out of the window. So, I'm surprised you're even hearing this if you are. So, we apologize for the short length. It'll probably just be around half an hour. That was what the last one was, though, as I struggled to do it on my own.
Listen, I was moving.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, I was like, oh my god, I need content. I need more content.
How long
Colby,
was it?
talk slower. It just hit 30 minutes, like, barely. But, our ending narrative is actually, kind of podcast suggestions and what made us want to start a podcast.
Yeah, what podcasts we listened to that really inspired this diecast without being too pep talky. That's a pretty pep talk term.
I have no idea what you're trying to say.
Please cut that.
Did not correlate at all. Okay, anyways.
I was looking for a word that hasn't come to me yet. So.
Okay. Anyways, I'll start.
Go ahead.
So, podcasts I listen to, I'll go over some of the ones that... Okay, well, some of the ones that I listen to that didn't really make me want to start a podcast to the same extent as the last one. There's the Dex podcast, which is a Pokemon podcast that just covers, like...
Of course it is.
All the news and stuff that's gone on in the week, and, like, they're a popular YouTube, like, duo, and their podcast is really fun and kind of cool and helps you get into Pokemon. Another one is Nintendo Voice Chat, just another Nintendo news one. And then another one is Zelda Informer, which is just another Nintendo news segment, but Zelda. But the final one that actually inspired me is called the Stuck Together Podcast.
It's not about Nintendo.
It's not about Nintendo for once.
He's broadening his horizons.
So this was started, my favorite YouTuber, Jimmy Wetzel, was actually, he was one of the 3 people who did the podcast. And it's basically, what it was when it was him, it was more personality based, like they play kind of games and stuff and talk about their weeks and everything. And it's funny enough, I listened because of him. He actually stopped doing the podcast. And now it's just the 2 other hosts, but I liked them. Once he left, I liked them enough that I was like, I'll give it a few more chances without him, see how it is. Their names are Kara and Jimmy. Or, not Jimmy, he left. Kara and Todd. And since Jimmy left, it has turned into much more like philosophy, like super like philosophy, like how the mind works and how people are. And while that sounds like it's really boring.
No, dude, that stuff is so mind-blowing. Like...
No, it is, but like they do it in such a fun and like really cool way. And they just talk, and like, that's something that I wouldn't really want to listen to, but they have very like you gravitate kind of towards their personalities. Mm-hmm. Like, they have really outgoing personalities, and it's really
you can tell they care about what they're talking about.
Yeah, and they really care about, what they're talking about the podcast. They're 2 really introspective. Well, it's funny, because she's a writer, one of them, and the other, he edits gameplay for a huge YouTube channel. So they have really, like, different perspectives, and they just have a lot... Yeah, like me and you. And they just have some really, like, cool and interesting topics. And even while it might not sound interesting at first, the places they go with it are just super cool, super interesting. And yeah, I originally started listening because of Jimmy. He's not even on there, and it's my favorite podcast. Like, I adore listening to it. Like, if a new episode comes out of that, all my other ones go on the back burner until I finish that one. Stuck Together podcast. Couldn't recommend it enough. But those are the main ones I listen to. Jane?
Alright, so, as a kid, I grew up with my mom always having NPR on. She was a stay-at-home mom for most of my childhood, so I guess you get to the point where if you're cooped up in the house with 2 young children all day, you're gonna wanna, like, punch a wall. So she listened to NPR to, like, have some adults
in the room with her, kind of?
Yeah, basically. So I grew up on This American Life, TED Talks, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I like listening to those too. I usually only listen to them if they're on the radio, though.
Yeah.
But, like, so that sparked my interest in podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And then in high school, I think it was freshman year, Serial became, like, big. So I'm
going to jump in for just a second. I've listened to both seasons of Serial, actually for, like, a school we had to do it for my forensics class, but I did really enjoy them, and if a 3rd season comes out, I probably will listen to it on my own. I really liked it, but it was for school. Anyways, continue.
Alright, so I actually never finished that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know why. I think
the first season?
Yeah.
I really liked the first season.
It was, like, freshman year, I don't know, I was dumb.
Gross.
Yeah, I was
Jane was
gross
weird in freshman year.
I had long hair, and...
She was fun and, like, enjoyable, but also sometimes I really just didn't want to be around her. I guess that's what all freshmen are, but... So, yeah, Serial...
To put this in context, like I said the last episode I was on, I fell out of my chair in Spanish class.
In complete and utter silence.
I'm gonna leave that there. Alright.
So Serial is one of them?
Yeah, I listen to Serial, and then I found more podcasts through BuzzFeed. Of all things.
Of all the places to find podcasts.
There was this quiz, and it was like, if you like Serial, take this quiz and find out what podcast you should listen to next, or something like that. I don't know. So I took it, and they suggested this podcast, Lore, to me. And oh my god, I love Lore so much.
She talks about it a lot. Like a lot.
2 of my best friends, every time, like, I stopped talking about Lore, because I went, like, crazy for it over the summer, and then, like, I calmed down, no, it was last school year. Yeah, and then I calmed down a little bit as I was listening to it regularly, and after I stopped binge listening to it to catch up. But every time I say the word lore around them, now they just make fun of me, and I can't say anything about that anymore. It's a good time. But, so lore is about, like, myths and legends in, like, modern society. Vampires,
I love myths and legends.
Wendigos, what else?
I need to listen to lore, I think.
You really should.
Jane?
The Jersey
yeah,
Devil.
Yeah, you should.
Like, you need to. It goes on, like, elves, like, creatures you've never heard of before, ghosts. I mean, that's not a creature you've never heard of before. Don't think that was an example. Anyway.
Cut that out again, maybe?
Maybe. But, like, it is so mind-blowing. It's by this guy, Aaron Mahnke, and I love it. And then I listen with the Podbean app, which the Head First podcast is on, if you'd like to listen on your phone.
Wow.
And, so I went to suggested podcasts, and suggested for me was the Black Tapes podcast. And holy shit.
Ooh, we got Jane Carson on the podcast.
Okay, guys, it's basically a mystery, but it's like a true story.
Ooh.
It's Alex Regan is the host of the podcast, and it started out, it's like part of Pacific Northwest Stories, which is another podcast. So it's gonna be a spin-off series about, like, different jobs people had, and going into, like, the background behind jobs, and she's gonna start with ghost hunters.
Oh, that's cool.
Until she met Dr. Richard Strand.
Oh.
Who is eye candy, let me tell you. And, he runs the Strand Institute, and he has, basically the Strand Institute is built around disproving every ghost story.
Oh,
like,
wow.
They have $1 million reward out for anybody who has absolute, undeniable proof of, like, paranormal events.
Wow.
And so, all of his solved cases are in these VHS cases. It's CDs and evidence and everything is in those cases.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're in white VHS cases. While she was there interviewing him, she noticed these series of black VHS cases, the black tapes. Mm-hmm. And those were the unsolved mysteries. And it's about them. And
that's
everything,
really cool.
Everything gets connected in this crazy convoluted web, and people go missing, and it's true stories, Colby. It's true stories.
That's actually really cool. That's a cool concept.
And I love it so much. Like, I legit love it.
You might have to tell me those later. I might want to listen to those.
You have to listen.
It's funny, though, because
you'll probably fear for your life at one point, but, like, I've been, like, at night in bed with the covers all the way up to my eyeballs, and I'm just, like, looking around.
Yeah,
like a rosary in my hands, like, please, Lord.
It's funny because I used to not listen to any podcasts, and then my commute to work started as just one, and then when I was finished with it, I would listen to music again. Mm-hmm. I don't listen to music on my way to work anymore. I only listen to podcasts. I really like them, and they become kind of a big part of my life, and that's why I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
But, we're kind of, like, at a stretch for time right now, so we kind of got to end it pretty quick here. I'd really like to thank you guys all for listening.
Yeah, it's good to be back for this episode.
Yeah, we're definitely going to try to figure out a way to get Jane in it and not us record in a car. Next episode. We'll figure it out. But
Hopefully.
Thank you all. Hopefully. We might not. We might be in a car. We'll figure it out. We'd like to thank you all for listening and tuning in.
If you have any feedback, feel free to email us or leave any comments or
headfirstpod@gmail.com. Leave us iTunes ratings.
Or Podbean ratings.
Yep.
We're not very active on social media.
We have a social media account, like we have a Facebook, an Instagram, a Twitter.
The Facebook
we use none
account
of
got
them.
deactivated because it was so inactive. Like, that's the thing that I
trying.
apologize, guys. There's not a whole bunch of news, though. It's just like, oh, we recorded today. Oh, we're uploading today.
Yeah,
and
so
that's it.
we were not very good at social media, but I post about it. I think she posts about it. So go check us out. Leave us iTunes rating and stuff. And
if you listen to any of the podcasts we listed today,
yes, let us know.
Let us know, and let us know what you thought. Like, please let us know.
Totally let us know.
I want to talk to people. And
Jane wants to tell everyone in the world to watch Lore.
Yes, listen to.
Shut the fuck up. Alright, so we are gonna go. We love you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye! Thanks. I practiced on
Bye.